The second half of this report and an accompanying video is really a lot of what's happening online: crowdfunding, shared economy, stuff like that. And I understand that you're not into it much yourself. The one thing to look at, though, that I think you'll probably start using more is the crowdfunding, because you could use that for anything in the neighborhood: raise money for school, raise money for a health problem, or anything, fix up things in the neighborhood. It's a wonderful thing that's going on. I mean, even like the woman who was running for president, she needed $7 million to recount Michigan. She went on crowdfunding and did that. Was able. I mean, here locally, some homeless guy didn't have money for a burial, and they raised like $7,000, or I think it was $1,500 locally to bury your homeless fellow. So that's why it's a powerful tool, and it doesn't take much to know. The internet is getting easier and easier all the time. It's sort of like cars in the beginning. You had to crank them, and now anybody could do it. Okay, but these are 11 websites I think you may want to start looking at as a way to make money that can really fit in your daily life, particularly if you're hurting for money. A way to do something that's independent. See, none of this takes money out of your pocket. These websites live by, if you get money, they get a little piece. So they maybe get 5%, 10%, 15%, or whatever of what you get. And that's how they survive. So let me give you just a taste of some here. I don't know if you heard about Airbnb. This is like hotels and people's rooms. I use it all over the world now, actually. And I have an apartment downtown that I put on, and I make a ton of dough, and it does nothing. And people treat that apartment nicer than I give it to them. There's something about getting something from an individual that people treat it nicer versus getting it from the hotel. When I use Airbnb, man, I clean it like I'm staying at my mother-in-law's. I don't want her to think bad of me. So I get a good review. And there's no worry about getting paid, because all the credit cards ahead of time, and they're vetted by the people who run the sites. They cover insurance. They cover everything is covered. It's cool. And the internet, because it's so big, able to put people together. Well, Airbnb is a place you turn to, and you get a room in someone's house or whole apartment or whatever for a fraction of what it costs you in a hotel room. So what it beats out, it cuts out the hotel. So hotels are going to grow. And Airbnb now is bigger than like Hyatt hotels, and throw in another hotel too. And they only been around about 5-6 years, and they only have like 2,000 employees. Hyatt has hundreds of thousands of employees, but these people only have a platform. But there's 1 million people making money out of it. So you could go to Airbnb and there's a link there for beginners. I found a little article there that will explain it to you. And you could have a couch. You could have a backyard. People are putting tents in their backyard, and people pay them for that. And actually, Airbnb started because the guy had a blow-up mattress in his living room that he rented out to some conventioners in San Francisco one day, and hey, and that's how all this thing started. So that's interesting, and it is huge business. Hotels are ticked off. City people are ticked off because the guys aren't getting rent, but they're working that out. Airbnb isn't going away. Too many people making money from it, and it's easy. So you may want to investigate that. Another one like that is for land. Now, you live out in the country somewhere. I mean, people now, instead of going to parks or something, you could offer your land for camping, for parties, or whatever. I mean, people are making lots of money to do that. Actually, that's number 3. I skipped two, but we'll get back to 2. So this is the one. The title says, "Don't pay to earn up to $30,000 a year from some extra land." Watch that video. That tells you about it and whatever. The one before that is how to make money in real estate without real estate. And what people are doing now, because people have property or land or apartments or houses they don't use or whatever, are lazy and don't want to do anything. So people are now starting businesses out of renting that for people. They put it on the internet for them, and they collect the money and take part of it, and get the keys of the people, do all the maintenance kind of stuff. So you could be in the real estate business doing that, and it costs you nothing. See, None of these things will cost you anything to try. Now, Airbnb has something that I thought about you a lot about, because they're looking for people to put on here is unusual experiences. Now, in other words, when people come to town, they want to do something unusual. So they're trying to get activities. And I've talked to people who have just websites like that. You travel, like to Europe, and you want to do something different. Well, people are taking you to a soccer game, just a guy out of his room, and he gets paid to do that. Because you'd rather go with some local guy than some professional tourist person. See, people making a ton of dough like this. So Airbnb wants to have that. And I looked, and if you click the link that I have there, you see how many Airbnbs there are just around where you live. So people are coming into town. Now just think if you had a little attraction that says, I'll take you on a ride up the river for 2 hours or something like that. I don't know, or you give a lecture or whatever. See, here's a way to take your passion. You put it on there. They do all the marketing. And if you get business, they just take a piece of it. But that's a way to learn if there's any market, how you change the idea, whatever the whole thing is. Most of our ideas don't work. So the idea is to try things. In other words, you fix things, I guess. A lot of times, now that you're good at it, maybe you always know the right thing to do, but if it's your first time at it, you fumble around trying 7 things that don't work before you find out the thing that works, And so it's the same with doing anything. So is it river cruises? Is it river lectures or whatever? So you put it on something like this and find out, and you make money learning. That's the whole thing. Why go to school, pay somebody money when now you could make money trying to learn it, yourself and from real life. In other words, like sitting in the classroom trying to learn how to play football. No, you get your butt out in the field and you learn a lot quicker that way. So, here I was saying, use it to support a nonprofit. Oh, see, that's another thing. What they do, they have a special thing on Airbnb for these travel things. Is if you're a nonprofit. So maybe you want to hook up a nonprofit. Maybe you have a Save the Water Foundation or start your own nonprofit. And I have a thing on that other 40 things in the other video that will help you do that for free too. And then people feel good. Oh, they're helping. All the money goes to a nonprofit or something like that. So you're probably so rich you don't need money. So that's why you do it. Okay. Here now, you can make $1,000 taking care of other people's pet. And you can do it in your home or apartment, whatever. Pets are going bananas in our country. And so that's all over. Now, I don't know if this works out there, but parking space. People need places to park their car. People make a couple $100 a month doing that. Actually, there's another one I don't have. Oh, here it is. Yeah, storage. People want to store stuff. You clear out part of your basement and let them store stuff there. And so maybe you make $50 to $100 a month doing nothing. Now it takes and eats. Now it's providing you eats. Now, here's for pet lovers. Here's like 7 ways to make money if you're a pet, if you like pets, with nothing. That's a video I put together of all the websites are in there. Or how about you like having dinners? Okay, have them in your home. Tourists come to town or whatever, they have dinner with somebody who knows the waterways, And if you like to cook, that's even more. So many friends I know when they travel out of the towns or whatever here, do that because it's better, it's more fun talking to local people and sharing a meal with somebody like that than is going to some fancy restaurant and being, paying up the bazoozy for something you didn't even like anyway. And here you have a wonderful experience. That's why I see what the internet is doing more, and there's 3 websites that do this. The internet is doing more bringing people together and not bringing them apart. So, people aren't talking to each other because of the internet. Nonsense, man. I know people now who stay at my Airbnb down in Washington, D.C. I have dinner with them, met people all over the world, just wonderful people. A t-shirt business. Here's a way to be in the t-shirt business with no money. There's a video there, shows you how to do it. The guy runs a video. So you just send him a picture or something. Like here's my picture or whatever. And he puts it up there. If enough people like it, he makes a t-shirt and shares the money with you. And if you want to have it, then fine. See, he can make them one of a kind. You don't have to print 100, you just print one and you pay them for every one that you have. So you could have the Waterman t-shirt or whatever it is, and do that. Now here's something too, as a craftsman, which I think you are too, there's a website now that raises money for artists to keep them in business or in life forever. So it's a monthly check you put on the website what your artists like and whatever, and they're giving $1 million a month to artists. They're giving more money to artists now than the federal government in the National Endowment of the Arts. Man, so that's right. This is happening. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.